little energon and a lot of luck. We can't ignore the danger. We must conquer it. I am Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots.
Is the I'm trying to is the like music volume okay? I want to confirm before I start. Is the music volume okay? Please help me confirm that. Or should it be louder or lower? Micro. Okay. So I'll start very soon, very shortly. Hello guys, welcome to Magic Chess Season 14 live stream number 5. Today we are going to be looking at the commander skills in the game and arranging them in a tier list from the best commander skills to, or rather from the worst commander skills in the game that you should never ever use to the best commander skills that you should always try to use, that you should always try to get when the ban pick comes. So you know what commander skills you should pick when some are banned, and you know what you should avoid, and you just know how you're going to adjust yourself when the ban pick comes. So that is what we're going to be looking at in today's video. Just a tier list of commander skills. Now I'm going to just switch to the tier list. I really wish I could have gotten one in landscape, but I just have to manage the portrait. So the first thing you would notice is that unlike with synergies where there's only 20 synergies, so we could put all of them in a tier list with 5, the commander skill tier list has 8 tiers because there's 75 commander skills in the game. And when I was preparing for this stream, I had to look through all the commander skills, and I was like, wait, there are so many skills in the game. I think out of all of them, there's like 10 I've never ever used before, but I've seen them at work. And then there's about 45 of them that I've mained at some point, and then the others are just like I've played them maybe for content sometime. But overall, I think I have a very good understanding of how the skills have performed in the past. So I'm going to base that on. I'm going to use that to form the basis for how I predict they will perform in the coming season. So the synergy tier list is also going to be a guide. I'm going to use the synergy tier list to kind of see how, okay, will this commander skill be good for these synergies? As we have the meta synergies, will the commander skills be viable for playing them? So that is just what's going to happen in this stream. Now, before I start though, I there's 75 commander skills, and all of them have different working principles. All of them, they don't do the same thing. Some of them give some specific bonuses that some others don't. So if I don't create a way of gauging them, it will not be fair to some commander skills. So first I just itemized 10 different ways of classifying commander skills. And the first one is the commander skills that reduce damage taken. That one is like one of my personal favorites. You have Harper skill 1. It's one of those commander skills that reduces damage taken. We have the commander skills that restore HP. We have some like Cho skill 2. We have some like all of Mavis's skills. We have the skills that give gold, that extra bonus gold for winning rounds. You have some like Ostos skill 1. Another thing, while doing this, I was like, should I try to remember the names, the actual names of all the commander skills? And then I was like, nah, I can't do this. Is there anybody who like knows the names of all the commander skills? I mean, I tend to forget the names of the skills I use, talk less of the skills I don't use. So that one is I'm just going to refer to them by the commander and then the so skill 1, skill 2, like that. Then the next one is the ones that give gold indirectly. We have ones like Remy skill 3. That one gives gold while reducing the cost of upgrading commander level. We have Eggy skill 2, skill 1, which reduces the cost of upgrading commander level by 15%. So those ones are another class of commander skills. Then we have these three that are my own personal favorite class of commander skills. The other set of commander skills that I love using the most. We have the ones that make building easier by adding capacity. That is like Fanny skill 2 and Fanny skill 3. Classifying this one, you can also add Rhea skill 1 and Rhea skill 3 because blessings and crystals can make building easier in giving capacity. Then we have ones that make building 3-star easily. We have skills like Tar skill 2, Tar skill 3, Ostos skill 2. And then we have the last one, the ones that give rare heroes. That's Midas, that's Boss skill 3, Ostos skill 3. We've seen all of them in action. And then the last three are the ones that influence equipment. The skills like Astar skill 3, skills like all of Brown skills. Then the final two are kind of mutually exclusive, and they are the ones that make up the majority of the types of commander skills in the game. We have the ones that add buffs to the heroes. So many skills we have that add buffs to heroes. We have like Ling skill 1, skill 2, skill 3, all of Ling's skills. We have power skills, all of power skills. We have even Laila skills, all of Laila skills as well. Although Laila skills, some of them are on the other category, which are the ones that debuff enemies. So things like Laila skill 3 that makes it so that enemy heroes can't gain mana. Skills like that that give debuff. So these are just the 10 categories of commander skills. So I'm going to be ranking all of them based on, okay, this is what you do. How do you compare against other skills that do what you do? And then maybe at the end of the video, I will now pick a class of commander skills that is most appropriate for it. Because we know some of them, like the commander skills that debuff enemies, they are not, while they are good, most of the time they can easily be avoided. You can easily walk around them. So a lot of times you can just avoid them. Whereas the ones that buff your heroes, you can, like Yuki skill 3 is one that works very, you can spam that one every time without any problem. Skills like Percy skill 2 that resurrects all your heroes. That one, the enemy can't do anything about it. It's all about how you play. So those are the the different commander skills have different effects. We know that the commander skills that give HP, that restore HP to commander, they are not really in the meta right now. Nobody really uses them. Everybody's all about, okay, how can I do more damage? How can I buff my team? How can I get them to 3 stars? Those are the kind of commander skills that, yeah, everybody's using. So I would first rank all the commander skills by class, and then I'll now pick which class is best. So without wasting too much time, of course, I would love to hear you guys' opinions as I do the ranking, because we are going to be here for a while. There's 75 skills, like I said. So I would love to hear your feedback as we go. So starting with Harper skills, Harper skill 1, skill 2, and skill 3. His first skill is just one that reduces the damage taken by 3 every round. It's a very nice skill. What I love about this skill is that while it seems like 3 is a small number, the fact that you can stack up that 3 and it just keeps stacking like that, you can save almost in an average game, you can save about 27 HP, which means that you can take damage like 2 extra times than compared to what a normal commander would take. If a commander will, I think at most, a commander can take damage 8 times in a game. If you lose 8 rounds in a game, you are going to be knocked out. So 7, 8. Sometimes you can take so much damage that you'll be out in 6 rounds. Sometimes it will be in 3 rounds. That's if you lose in the very deep late game. But Harper's skill, this skill one, it really helps you in the early game because in the early game you can't take that much damage. So where you just take maybe like 10 or 9 damage, you reduce that by 3, you get to save a lot of HP. So you can play very risky early game strategies with this, and even if you lose the early game, you won't really feel it like that. So by my personal opinion, I would rate this skill as an S, but I can't put it there. I cannot put Harper's skill 1 in S. I'll put it as an A. I'll put it as an because it is the skill I recommend new players to play every time. It's a very good skill. It's one that even if I'm like playing in mythic rank and I don't want to stress myself too much, I can just pick this skill and just have fun because it doesn't add any other bonus. It's a very simple skill. No long talk, no nothing, just straightforward. Now his second skill is an active skill that nullifies all damage. While this one is better in terms of okay, fine, I can use this one late game, I can reduce all the damage. Like imagine facing a nature spirit with sun and everything that has all the clones everywhere. So you're taking almost 45 damage, but then you have this skill that just nullifies everything. In theory it's okay, but the fact that it is only good in the late game and it has a very long cooldown. You have a 15 round cooldown, which means that if you are not doing very well in the game, you may only be able to cast that skill once before you get knocked out, which is a step down from his first skill. While this one has better burst potential, the sustainability is just not there. So for me, this one is an average. It's an average skill. Even though the cooldown can be reduced. It's still not as it should be. So now I go to the third skill. The third skill is it reduces the damage taken by 20% for every win you take. So if you win this round, you get a shield that reduces the next damage by 20%. Which means that if you win 5 rounds, you get 100% damage reduction. You don't take damage if you lose. So it's a step up from your second skill actually, because this one now is a passive skill. So you just have to win the rounds, and then if you manage to win some rounds, you will get to reduce damage. It's a very nice cross between his first and his third skill and his second skill. It's a very nice balance of both. If the first skill does not tickle your fancy, you want a little more damage reduction, then you can definitely go for the third skill. This one, not to, just this one, like I said, it's a cross between the first and the second, so just there in B. And then I go to Ragnar's skill. These are still the old commanders, the very old commanders. Nobody actually uses these commanders anymore. The only one people use, I think I still see some people use Harper, but Ragnar, I don't think I ever see anybody using Ragnar. And for good reason too. They are like defense skills. Like you see regen. Regen gives you some HP every round with a cooldown of about 3 rounds. So you can quickly regenerate 4 HP. I believe it's 4, either 4 or 5. You quickly regenerate some HP and then you have to wait 3 rounds to regenerate another one. So really, if you can stack it very well, if your synergy is strong enough, you can use this skill to easily cover up maybe a place where you just lost because you got matched against the wrong person. You can just easily use that to cover if your team is strong, right? You can just cover one mistake, and then by the time you have to face that person again, you've probably nullified all the damage that you took before. But I mean, in the current meta where there's no one synergy, the way I see, there's no one synergy that can just dominate completely. You will always have that. You will always have its counter, and its counter in abundance. So it's not. because of the way the meta is, this skill is not really as good as it should be. So just it's like specific. If you have a very strong commander skill that you know you can dominate, just you can. That's where it can like occupy the niche position. But in terms of generally speaking, it's not a very good commander skill. Then the next commander skill is his second skill. His second skill is an active skill that reduces damage. It's like it's I don't know. This one is also I'll just put it here. I won't say it's bad. Or it's either it's like the skill reduces damage by 50% that you take in this round, but it's an active skill that has a cooldown of 3 rounds. You can get this as a passive skill if you use Harper's skill 3. So this one just needs, if they want to do that, they need to increase the damage reduction to maybe 60% or 70%, so that will be worth it. But right now it's just there. The third skill is a when your HP drops below 20%, if you manage to win, you get 10 HP. So what the skill does is that if you get low and then you start winning, you get more HP. So if you are starting a comeback, like say you lost all the rounds early game and you got down to 1 HP, and then you start building a team. Ideally, you would still feel that pressure that okay, if I lose any round, I might be knocked out. But with this skill, with Ragnar skill 3, if you start that comeback, you get HP, you get 10, if you like stop at 1 HP and then start winning, you get to 11, you win again, you get to 21. Now, at 21 HP, you probably have a more solid ground. So, if you make a mistake and lose again, you still have something to fall back on. That is the best way to use the skill. But then again, that situation, trying to get to that, when you have other commanders, all these commander skills that yeah, it's better. It has a shorter cooldown, and although it doesn't nullify 100% of the damage like Harper skill 2. This one 50% is okay and you can spam it. But then Harper skill 3 gives this that 50% cooldown reduction like just the same way and even more. So that's just why it's above Harper. Oh, I put it as bad. I wanted to put it as niche. This one as well is niche. I think all of Ragnar skills. I don't want to put them as bad because I don't want to be too. I don't want to be too mean about it. I just say they're all niche. Now we go to Remy. Remy is a more popular commander, so I think we'll have fun. I think we may see our first S ranks synergy. We have his first skill. His first skill gives you, I believe, 1 to 4 gold. Okay, yes, this one is a bad skill. This one is a bad skill. This is a skill that gives you gold, and it gives you 1 to 4 every 3 rounds or so. Which means that in a game you may be able to stack like what 20 gold, 20 gold at best. Every I don't think there's any other commander skill that gives you gold. The thing says you will get 1 to 4 gold, but I don't think you will ever get that 4 gold. Every time I use this skill, I always get 1 or 2. I never even get 3, just 1 or 2, and that's just why I quit the skill. I didn't even want to spam Remy like to unlock his third skill back when it was meta. I just waited until they brought the skin for it. Because this skill was just so bad. It would be if I get 4 gold every 3 rounds, that is better. That is actually better. Just make it constant 4 gold or constant 3 gold. If I make it constant 4 gold, 3 gold, that would be better. But to say that there's a chance to get 1 gold, there's a chance to get 1 to 4 gold. You give me that chance to get 4 gold, where I keep getting 1 gold every time. Now it's a very bad skill compared to other skills that give gold. Then I go to his second skill. His second skill is actually very good, considering how me I love I love maintaining interest. So having a commander skill like this that gives me some extra gold for maintaining interest. That 1 gold, stacks. You get your interest at the start of placement, and then you get some extra. You get some extra. You get some extra. I think yeah, it's just pretty down to average actually. But now that I think about it, the amount of gold you get at the end of the game is not that it's not that significant. It's probably somewhere between 20 and 30 at most as well. So it's not as worth as it should. But I think one advantage of the skill is that with this skill you can maintain your interest at 10 instead of needing to keep it at 20. You can drop it to 10, so you still have one extra goal. So instead of getting 2 interest, you get 3, which is kind of the same as 4. So that's one advantage. So yeah, just a very average skill. And now we go to the big boy himself. Remy skill 3, Windfall. It has the disadvantage of that you cannot save interest. You cannot save interest with this skill. There's ways around it where you can maybe sell your heroes before the round ends and get maybe 2 interest. But I mean that is mental stress. This game is supposed to be fun. You're not supposed to need to do that much to get just 2 gold, not even something. And you can't do that every round. Because if you do that every round, you will run out of space to buy heroes. You don't even have any like space to do anything. So just play without the interest. You enjoy the bonus gold. Enjoy the fact that your upgrading your commander level is never stressful. You always have a stress-free path to upgrading your commander level every time you use this skill. The problem though is that I would put it as a broken skill, but then again, uh, you have this early game dominance with the skill where you can get commander level 6 comfortably in the planning stage. But during the placement stage, it has this kind of slow phase where you don't really get as much gold as other players. The gold starts to increase though once you get to showdown. So you have the dominance in planning, you have the dominance in showdown. But inside placement, in the placement stage, there's that very slow pace where the enemies can easily catch up to you, and that could be dangerous. So that's just the one thing. That's one thing that is keeping it from being broken. But other than that, Windfall is a very, very good commander skill. Once you can learn how to manage the gold that you get, once you learn how to play with the fact that you can't save interest, you play with the fact that you have to empty your bank or it will go to upgrading your commander skill. Once you learn how to play with those facts, it will even aid your gold management in a way. I said it in my previous video that when Windfall is one of those skills that ruins players' gold management mindsets. But if you are able to master, if you have complete control over the skill, you can actually use that to improve your gold management mindset. So enough about Windfall. We move to Ava. Ava's 3 skills. Ava is a synergy commander. She rewards you for completing synergies. Her first skill rewards you for completing four different synergies, like playing with Prince. Her first skill rewards you for completing 4 synergies, gives you a lot of magic power and a lot of physical attack. So if you are playing a commander skill that has a lot of synergies in it, like if you want to play Prince for instance, you definitely will enjoy using Ava's skill 1 because you get extra attack in addition to to the Prince bonus. It's a very good thing. And then you have some other synergies, some other combos. Like if you are playing with Northern Veil Weapon Master, you can't play Northern Veil Weapon Master without adding Saber. You can't play it without adding Gunner. You can't play without adding Ablaze Bounty. So you have so many synergies in that one. Like you have so many supporting synergies around that Northern Veil. So it's always really fun, and this skill works very well with it. So but then again, there's not that many synergies, not that many lineups that have this, like they have many synergies on it. So it's kind of a niche commander skill. It's something that unless you want to force it, which is not really recommended, because if it doesn't happen naturally, like when you are playing with Archer and Cadia, you can easily add 2 other synergies just by adding Yin. You can add Forsaken Light and Wrestler. So it's very easy to add other synergies. If you are playing with like I said, if you are playing with Weapon Master Northern Veil, you can easily add Gunner, you can easily add Saber, you can easily add even Forsaken Light, you can easily add a Blaze Bounty. So when you have those kind of synergies where it's so comfortable to add other synergies, it's very fun. So I would say it's a good commander skill. It's a good commander skill. Slightly above average. I mean, I would recommend people use it as well. Then toughness. Well, toughness. Eva skill 2 is a skill that back then, when the skill was before the skill got nerfed, it was a skill that negates the effects of nature spirits. So imagine nature spirit heroes that get their damage reduction, but then they don't lose their physical defense and they get magic defense in the process. So every hero is tanky. No hero is a liability, and you have nature. That was still in the era of nature spirit dominance, where toughness, where Eva skill 2 was one of the skills that dominated the meta. But as it stands right now, the skill got nerfed. While nature spirit has a good chance to dominate this meta, there are much better skills you can use instead of getting just 27 physical and magic defense. You have, instead of that, you can just get more life steal, you can get more damage, which life steal is incredibly significant to building nature spirit. You can, once you can get that, that's all. So this skill has really fallen off to just I don't want to, it's not a bad skill. It's still like you can use it, and it doesn't work with just nature spirits. You can use it with some other synergies. But it's somewhere between average and niche. This skill is somewhere between average and niche. I just put it as average. And then finally we have supplication. Supplication would be a strong synergy, even though it's been significantly nerfed. It's not strong of it. Let's just say it's very good. Even though it's been nerfed, nature spirit has been nerfed. Wrestler is now much more difficult to build. And then those were really the only two synergies that I really enjoyed supplication during the supplication meta. It was nature spirit or wrestler. Sometimes you had some archer, sometimes you had some gunner, but gunner is very difficult to build with supplication. You can play it with, in the current season actually, you can play it with saber. Now that Rafaela is no longer an angel, I think supplication is still one of those synergies that is just, it's just a very fun synergy to play. You don't, there's not too much stress. Get your first star core, get 5 other heroes, trigger 6 synergies, and just upgrade those heroes. You don't really, or maybe you want to add maybe Yin, since Yin is an irritating hero. And you want to add maybe Zilong for the extra attack speed. You want to add Leo mod. Just, it's a very simple synergy to activate and very fun as well. But if you want to like really rank up, gone are the days when supplication was a rank up synergy. Now it's just a feels good synergy, which is, it's still enjoyable when you play it that way. You really enjoy it. I cannot like say anything bad about supplication. Maybe if it gets buffed again, it might rise up to a rank up synergy, but as it is right now, just a feels good synergy. So now we move to Abe, Abe. I don't know how to pronounce that thing. We pronounce it as Abe in this, and we pronounce it as Abe here. His 3 skills are, I believe Abe is one of those commanders. He's probably the only commander that directly does damage to the enemy commander. You have his first skill, which passively adds, I believe it's either 2 or 4 extra damage to the damage you deal to enemy, which is crazy because in the early game where the game is still moving, it's still progressing slowly, you have this skill that can increase the damage where it's very possible to take 20 damage in the planning stage, which is unreal. It's unreal no matter how you think about it. So, but then again, some of these commander skills just rely on your synergy is strong. If your synergy is not strong, then these commander skills cannot help you. That in itself would make it very difficult to play niche synergies. You want to play a commander skill that is very weak. You want to play a synergy that is very weak. You need a commander skill that can support it. And if you want to play a synergy that is very strong, you can use a strong commander skill. You can use a weak commander skill, something that would increase the power. You get. So, but for all of Abe's skills, they depend on that your synergy is strong. So they cannot buff weak synergies. They can only buff strong synergies. And I think that part just makes it very difficult to play them because, I mean, like I said, there's no really domineering synergy right now. You need it, the commander skills actually make a difference. So for pretty much all of Abe's skills, they're just average. I really like this one though, so I'll put it as good. Attack and defend as well. This one grants you a shield the more damage you deal, which is good. It increases your chance of survival. It's one of the very good ones in terms of survival. Panda punch is just his third skill is bordering on niche and bad. It's bordering on niche and bad because how many times are you going to trigger that bonus? Sure, you may be able to knock out one commander, but unless you are snowballing, like I said, unless your synergy is very strong and you are snowballing the game, you will not see much with this skill. So it's a very niche, very, let's just say, what rank is that? That's a D rank. That's a D rank skill. So now we move to Mavis. Mavis, I mained her when her Jade Princess King came out. It was a very very fun time with Mavis. Her first skill is it activates from the showdown stage. Every win you get gives you, I believe they buffed it to 7 HP. Every time you win, you get 7 HP. It's like I was saying with Ragnar's third skill, where if you make a mistake in the early game, you can easily use that skill to come back. This skill is that, but on steroids. Because you get 7 HP for every win. Which means that it's not like once your HP is 20. If you start showdown stage with 1 HP, if you start the showdown stage with 1 HP, you can, and you just start snowballing. Let's also assume you win all the rounds in showdown stage. That's 43 HP. Even from, you go from 1 HP, you go all the way to 43 HP. It's a very good thing for supporting epic comebacks. But as I said, it's still, you need a strong synergy. It doesn't make weak synergy strong, it just makes strong synergy stronger. It's very good for late game synergies because it gives you that extra boost. Like, okay, fine, even if you messed up early game, you can take late game. But enough said about that. It's just a good synergy. The second skill is kind of, the problem is that I believe if the skill was a passive skill, it would have been better. And the cooldown is too long. 5 rounds is way too long for this skill's cooldown. What it does is that when you activate the skill and you win a round, you activate the skill and win a round, you recover HP equal to how much damage you deal. This is very, very deceitful because you may think that, oh, I'll win this round a lot of HP, and then you end up doing just 5 damage. Then you have to wait 5 rounds for that skill to come. I think they should reduce it to 4 rounds. 4 rounds should be enough. Or maybe even 3 rounds. I don't think 3 rounds is too much. If they want to reduce 3 rounds, maybe they put a limit on how much HP you can gain. You reduce it, they put the limits maybe 10 HP or 15 or 20 HP. I think that's not too bad. But right now 5 rounds is just too long to wait. Of course, if you if you use the skill very well and get, let's say, 43 damage, and you use the skill and get 43 HP, that's enough to scare your opponents. But how many times is that going to happen? It's just very, I put it as niche. It's a niche commander skill. And then we look at the last commander skill, which is her third skill. Her third skill is the best of all of them. You knock out if an enemy commander gets knocked out, you get 8 HP. If you were the one who knocked out the commander, you get 28. That is a lot. You knock out 2 commander. The problem is that how do you know you are going to knock out the commander? There's this achievement of knocking out 7 players in Magic, in a game of Magic. That means that you knock out every single person. But that doesn't happen. I think I completed the achievement. But after that, how many other times have I ever achieved that of knocking out 7 other commanders? No. At most, I just knock out 2 or 3. If I win, of course, I win. I knock out the one person I beat, and maybe I knock out 2 other people. But even with that, you knock out 2 people, that's 56 HP. That's half. You can get half your HP back. It's very, very nice. So this one is it's a very good synergy. I like how the strong tier does not have anything. The broken tier also does not have anything. Well, most of the broken commander skills are down. When we get to Taz, we'll see all of them. We move to Eggy's skills. Eggy is first skill. Very simple thing, reduces commander skill upgrades by 15%. It's a very good one. There's not too much stress about it. It's just very good. You can just use it for clean upgrading of your commander level. Then his second skill has more bonuses. It gives you the more when you maintain a win streak, you get a reduction in the upgrade cost of your commander level, which is very nice. But again, if your synergy is weak, you will not enjoy this commander skill. So average or niche, actually. This skill is actually niche. Then we have fortune. Fortune is simple. Get Eggy skill 3. Get to commander level 7, you get a spoils chest. That means you get an equipment. You get to pick between 3 equipment. You get to pick between 3 crystals or a clone device. I don't know. This one is probably, you can probably classify this as strong. Because the requirements got reduced to commander level 7. Getting to commander level 7 is very easy, which means that almost every game you will trigger this thing. You'll get a clone device. You'll get an extra equipment. Very, very nice. Then we move to boss. I think we're about to see another very strong commander skill. Boon to the weak, his first skill. Now, if you lose a round, you get 2 free refreshes. If you lose with more than 14 damage, you get 4 free refreshes, which means that in a game you can get up to 20 free refreshes. I don't know if that the scale of that, like, if you guys understand the scale of getting 20 free refreshes in a game. And it's actually fairly constant. In a game you get at least, let's say on average you'll get like 12 free refreshes. Well, from placement to showdown, you definitely take more than 14 damage in the game. So you just have that for, and in showdown you be at commander level 7 or 8. You would have a good chance to get 4 gold heroes, 5 gold heroes, or 3 gold heroes. It's very good for upgrading the commander skill, and the only problem you will have is that you get a free refresh, but you can't buy the hero because you don't have enough gold. I think that's one thing that I noticed. That one problem I noticed with this skill is that whenever you're using it, you tend to spend all your gold on buying heroes. You don't really have to refresh that much. One strategy I came up with for it is that you just spend most of your gold on upgrading. You don't refresh like normally. You just wait until you lose, then you refresh then. Because again, it's a lot of gold to buy heroes, and if you are like refreshing and buying heroes as well while still getting free refreshes, you are going to go broke very very quickly. Unless maybe you have a blaze bounty. If you use a blaze bounties, then maybe definitely you will enjoy it. Well, without that, nah. So this one is I would say it's an average. It's a B rank. Hold on. This one is a B rank. It's a B rank synergy. The second skill is it's average. It gives you a free. It reduces the chance of the gold cost of refreshing the shop by 1. So you only refresh the shop, but only on your first refresh. Then in the showdown stage, is the cost of reducing. It reduces the cost of the first 2 refreshes by 1. So it's. I think what they need to do is do what they did to his first skill. His first skill used to be 1 free refresh, then 2 free refreshes if you take more than 14 damage, but it was increased to 2 free refreshes like default, and then to 4. I've not gotten to boss skill 3 yet. But as I was saying with his skill 2, what they need to do to make this skill very broken is just, and not even very broken, just make it more balanced, make it more usable. The gold cost of the first 2 refreshes reduces by 1. Then in the showdown stage, the first 4 refreshes. It's not that hard. Very, very simple. I mean, I'm very sure not everybody will be able to use those 4 free refreshes in showdown. Those 4 reduced refreshes in showdown. Because again, if you have free refreshes and you keep spending them buying heroes, you are going to go broke because there's not that much gold in this game. You are going to go broke. So it's not something. It's not like they're trying to balance anything. They just have to help me with this because I really love this skill. I really, really love this skill. I used to love playing it, but well, until then, until they bring that buff. Now we go to boss skill 3. I'm really wondering what commander skills I'll put in this broken part. I'm really, really, really wondering what commander skills. No, this one is just, I'll put that A. After that last nerf, okay, no, it's somewhere between strong and very strong. For this commander skill, it's somewhere between strong and very strong. So I mean, I think we all know what boss skill 3 does. But for those who don't know, on the 8th round, that's on the round you pick your star core, you get to pick between 5 gold heroes, and you get them for free. You still have to buy them though. You still have to buy them with your gold, but you get them in the shop for free. So you can easily use this to get 5 gold heroes. Let's say you are building Astro Power and Swordsman, you can easily get Minotaur, you can easily get Ling. If you are building Northern View, you can easily get Bane. I don't know what you mean by compling. You may have to re-explain that. So yeah, but for boss skill 3, we have this thing where it's before they brought before they shifted the skill so that you can only pick it after you get a star core. That made it very very difficult to use because now you can get nerfed very very bad. In fact, no, this skill is going down. Please, I don't realize you can't now that you can't get the heroes before you pick a star core. All they need to do is make it so that you can get your 5 gold hero on the round of the creep defense round. Not before you, not after you get the star core. Before you get the star core. That is all they need to do to make the skill like good again. So for now, this skill is just A plus. It's not a broken skill, because even though, because you may, sometimes you will get the hero you want, but sometimes you will pick a star core and get a completely unrelated hero. It's a very bad thing, but since it's still a like decent skill, let's just put that A plus. Now we go to Benny. Listen, a lot of guys are going to hate me for Benny because I don't like Benny. I have a deep hatred for him, not because, and it's not because like he's too good or anything. It's because I don't see. To me, Benny is overhyped. But I don't know. Maybe I just don't know how to use him. People say that just use Franco. Use Franco will hook enemies into your trap. Let me even start with that skill. This skill. I just put that. I don't believe it is S. I don't believe it is S. Okay, I don't believe it is S. For me, this skill is a mid skill. But as per people use it competitively, people spam it in ranked. People are going to ban Benny in the next season. Let's just put it there for benefit of the doubt. Let's just put it here for benefit of the doubt. I know for a fact that this skill will be useless against archers, elementalists, and mages, because you're not going to, unless you have Franco, of course, to hook one of them. But against people that have range, they're not going to walk onto the trap. If you are playing against weapon masters or assassins or guardians or frontline heroes, okay, then they can enter the trap. Now, but there's also that. Especially if it's a frontline scenario, like if you are playing weapon master and another person is also playing weapon master, then definitely you can get copies of their Freya, get copies of their Zilongs, get copies of their Leomords. I think if a lot of people are using Ostos skill, burst skill 3, Ostos skill 3, all those skills that will give them 5 gold heroes, they're using summoner synergy as well, so that the enemy is just rich with heroes and you can just get some of that, get some of those heroes. Okay, maybe this skill is actually worth it. But to me, I don't believe it. S, I'm putting that S rank. Yeah, there's only a few commander skills that belong in S plus, and we'll get to them. Then his first skill. This skill is, I don't want to say it's a bad skill. I don't want to say this skill is a bad skill, but it's the first skill is essentially the third skill. I don't know if you guys know, but the first skill is essentially the third skill. And how many, when you pick freezing trap, when you pick this first skill, how many heroes do you ever freeze? Sometimes in a round you may not freeze any hero, or you freeze a 1 gold hero, or you freeze a Martyrs. You end up not freezing their carry. You end up freezing a useless hero. But well, at least this one, the freezing trap, this skill one, you can't reuse it in a round. Once a hero steps on the trap, it's gone. Unlike the third skill, where if a hero steps on it, another one can step on it, and you can get a lot of gold. So let's just say this one is just a D rank. It's not worth using. You should use his third skill. And now my own personal favorite Benny skill is his second skill, which, that extra creep that you get, whether you want to use it as a tank or you, I think if you, I don't know if you know, but there are some skills that creeps can immune. So if you have creeps as your tanks, like playing against Wormslayer Swordsman, for instance, Lance cannot one shot one of those creeps. Okay, he can, but but the damage he does is not going to be that significant. It's not going to be as significant as if he does the damage to an actual hero. So you can very well use the creeps as tanks, and I don't think they do that. They don't really do that much damage, so you can't really use them as damage dealers, but you can use them as tanks. You have that extra positioning advantage where you have a free tank that you don't really care about whether he lives or dies, so you can place him in the heat of enemy fire comfortably. For me, this skill is good. I don't want to put that as very good. But it's a good one. And then we go to power. Is the best of all his skills is definitely his third skill. After the showdown stage, I don't know. There's skills that you can use from the planning stage. There's skills you can use from the placement stage. Then you have some very, very, I don't want to say stupid skills that you can only use them from showdown, all the way at showdown. It's entirely possible to lose before you get to showdown. So why? I mean, make it at least shift it to maybe after you get the star core. That should be good enough. But putting it all the way at showdown is, a lot of the times there are some people who just don't survive long enough to it. It's like how I said with Mavis's third skill, where Mavis's first skill, you have to wait till showdown. I think that's one thing that turns me off about the skill. But the bonus you get once you get extra HP, get extra attack speed, get extra magic power, I believe. So it's a, I would say it's a good synergy, not very good, it's just a good synergy, and a good commander skill. I mean, the other two skills are not really, they're nothing significant really. This one is, I don't want to say it's a bad skill. I really wish this skill, I'll put as bad. I really wish this skill like made it so that you get this bonus, this HP bonus every round. All the heroes on the front line every round get. I love how they removed the cooldown. Charming used to Yuki skill 3 used to have a cooldown, and that was the one thing that all her skills used to have cooldowns. So it's not like you could spam this thing every round. You could only use it on specific. You could only use it strategically. So once they removed the cooldown, you see how the skill became spammed, and it became a like legitimately good commander skill. But for some reason, POW is still as it is. It should be, once they remove the cooldown from this skill, it would be usable. But for now, bad. Magic Circle, his second skill is an average skill. There's not too much to say about this one. You place a Magic Circle and heroes that are on the circle actually get a lot of damage. So again, it's one of those synergies that cannot really help weak. It's one of those commander skills that cannot help weak synergies. It helps to both make strong synergies stronger. So just average. And now we go to Yuki. Yuki, will we get a, well, let's start. Yuki's skill 1, bad. Yuki skill 1, bad. I'm not, I'm not. That skill never like, it has potential to one-shot an enemy. But a lot of time they just survive with 1 HP. I don't know if it is just me, but a lot of time they just survive with 1 HP and then they just vamp and it's like, I don't have a commander skill. It's good as it doesn't have a cooldown anymore. I mean, imagine having to waste 3 rounds for a shot that doesn't take out the enemy. I think the damage was higher when it had a cooldown. Maybe because they removed the cooldown, they reduced the damage. But for now, bad. I don't want it's just a bad skill. Then you have the second skill, which gives mana. You select a hero to sacrifice, and then that hero sacrifices itself, gives mana to all your other heroes. It's good for elementalists. It'd be very good for elementalists. You combine this with the light core, and then your elementalists can like use their skills very quickly. But before then, if you're using another, let's say you're using an archer, for instance, archers don't particularly need their skills. Maybe they do, but they don't really depend on it that much. So it's not something I would say it's niche. It's a just D rank. It's not terrible like the first skill. The first skill is just absolute rubbish. This one is nothing spectacular either. Now we go to the third skill. Definitely this one is going to be, I'm asking myself now what commander skills I will actually put in this S plus. Which commander skills will I put in this S plus rank? I don't know. I'll see when I get there. Yuki skill 3, as we all know, select a hero. The hero to the left and the right of that hero gets sacrificed, gives the hero that you've selected bonus attack, bonus HP. Very good. I recently discovered, shout out to Adrian for the discovery yesterday, a new strategy that relies on this Yuki skill 3, and it was spectacular. I've seen a lot of like videos about like Flicker 1-1 with this thing, Astro 1 Karina, all of them relying on this skill. It's a very good thing for Astro Power as well. Astro Power, KDR Riverlands, those, I think I mentioned it yesterday. Where I was like, Astro Power and KDR Riverlands, those two synergies, they just irritate me. Astro Power gives one hero a bonus. But then the other heroes are useless. The other heroes don't do anything. They just exist to die. You could 3-star the rest of them, but they will just, unless it's a very strong one, like if you have a 3-star Mino or a 3-star Badang, okay, those ones will actually survive. But what is the point of taking Martis to 3-star? What is the point of taking Martis to 3-star? What is the point of taking Zask to 3-star? Okay, no, Zask is actually good because of the summoner. But back then, when it was Hellcut, what was the point of taking Hellcut to 3-star? It may carry you mid-game, but what about late game? He's not going to do anything. So, with Yuki skill 3, you can take your Martis to 3-star and take your Irrital to 3-star, and then sacrifice both of them so that your 1-star Karina can become as strong as a 1-star Irrital and a 1-star, as a 3-star Martis and a 3-star Irrital combined. You have a 1-star Karina easily clearing the board. And what happens when you have a 3-star Karina? You can't lose. The same thing with Kedia Riverlands. If you sacrifice 2 heroes from the start, I believe sacrificing 2 heroes from the start should give your hero 2 free stacks from the beginning. I'm not sure about that. I haven't used the skill on Kedia, but if that is the case, then why not? It also reduces the competition for getting stacks of Kedia. So very easily your Kedia hero will be able to hyper carry. Very good for 1-1. Very good for Karina. You can even use it for Lance. If you use it on Lance and sacrifice the other Worm Slayer heroes, you have less heroes that will steal his kills. Because I know it can't be just me that Masha will steal my Lance's kill and my Lance will then die. While Masha is Masha is hopelessly trying to carry. If I'd sacrifice the Masha for like in fact no, actually I just realized I would sacrifice Masha easy. She has 3 HP bars. That's a lot of HP. I sacrifice Masha, sacrifice maybe Valerie or Kimi. Just sacrifice one of those two. And very easily. My lance will become even stronger. So you see that the possibilities for using Yuki skill 3 are limitless. The strong synergies can be made stronger. The weak synergies that have weaknesses, that have 1 or 2 things that make them unable to compete, you can cover up for those weaknesses. Like I said in yesterday's strategy, Nature Spirit. If you reduce the number of Nature Spirit heroes, you have the HP is going to increase because the HP is shared across fewer heroes. The heal is increased because it's shared across fewer heroes. The damage you take is reduced because there's fewer ways to take damage. So overall, it's just. In fact, no. Maybe this skill should be. Maybe this skill. Maybe this skill should actually be broken. Maybe this skill should actually be broken. I might bring it down later. But after all I've said, I just feel like nah, this skill should be broken. Yeah, this skill should be broken. Now we move to Connie. Connie is well. Her first skill is a skill that gives you select a hero and you are given a hero for free that has the same synergy as the hero. For me, the only turn off with this skill is the cooldown. In fact, this skill should not have a cooldown. This skill should actually not have a cooldown because you're getting a 1-star copy anyway. Let me use it so that I can get this hero. Let me use an example. I want to use a hero that doesn't have many synergies. Vexana, for instance. Vexana is a summoner Necrokeep. So there's only 6 heroes. There's Leomord, Faramis, and Vexana. Then there's Sun, Popol, and Zask. So those 6 heroes. You use this skill from the start of planning. You use this skill from the start of planning, from the start of placement. That is like what, 20 rounds. It's at most 20 rounds from there. The game is at most 20 rounds from there, which means that you get 20 heroes. If you don't want the hero, you can sell them. If you get the hero you want, you get them to 3-star. Okay, maybe having no CDs is too much. Maybe a CD of 1 round or 2 rounds. But that 4-round cooldown is way too much. Why will I only get 5 heroes from this skill? It's not. We have like someone said, we have Cancero Star skill 3 that gives you have people with 6 3-star heroes. And then there's me who always struggles to get just 1 3-star hero. No matter how much I manipulate the shop and no matter how much I manipulate the shop and commander level and everything, I still struggle to get 1 hero to 3-star. So okay, I can actually do that though. You have this skill that just like you just have this. I mean, the skill needs to. For now, the skill is just good. I just leave it as good. It's nothing too broken. It's just good. And then Connie's second skill is a simple one. It allows you to pick a hero in the fate box. So you can get 2 things in the fate box. You can get an item. You can get a hero. It's a stable synergy. It's nothing too spectacular. It's just a stable synergy. So just a D rank skill. Then you have her third skill. Her third skill is one of those skills that if you have terrible luck, don't ever use this skill. I believe the percentage chance of triggering the skill has been increased to 16. It was 10% before. I think it was 8% at first. It was 8%, then go increase to 10%, then go increase to 12%, then go increase to 14%. And now it's currently 16%, yet nobody uses it. I think 20% is probably the best thing. We have 5 heroes in the shop. 20% is a 1 in 5 chance. So it means if you buy 5 heroes in the shop, one of them is going to duplicate. That is probably the best. Why have the devs not done this? This is how to like make skills balanced. That would make the skill not broken. That would make the skill balanced. Get a duplicate if you buy 1 in 5. That is how to make a commander skill balanced. But as it is right now, that's 16. Okay, 16% is 1 in 6 actually. So it's not bad per se, but they can do better. Devs, please, let's make it better. This skill is just down here as well. Percy's skill, we move to Percy. Percy is a commander of resurrection. He's a commander of survival, both as a commander and for the heroes. His first skill, the first hero to die in a round. I like how this skill has no cooldown. The first hero to die in a round gets resurrected. So if your tank dies, he comes back again as a tank, or if your damage dealer gets caught up by Karina, comes back again, can get revenge. Very good skill for commander for survival. It's I'll put this one as good. His second skill is, even though when I made that video about talking about this skill, I really thought the skill, and I was surprised because on the day I uploaded that video, I saw there were 3 other fellow YouTubers who uploaded videos about it, and I saw their videos and it was like, wow, this skill looks like it will probably dominate the meta. But then all of a sudden, everybody just like left the skill alone. I don't know. Am I the only one who? I didn't have time at that. I wasn't really like chance to play the game that much at that time, so I didn't get the chance to play it. But then when I came back, I was like, well, nobody's playing this skill again. Why? It's still as good as it was. Unless maybe they did something to the skill that I don't know. But for me personally, it's still an A+ synergy. There's no reason not to use this skill. It's free recovery. Even if your synergy is weak, just drop 3 gold and you can give them a chance to become strong. And if you use it on a strong synergy, GG. You have a 3-star Karina, you have a 3-star Ling, you have a 3-star Haya, because it seems people really love Haya now. Of which skill? Okay, that was that about Percy's skill too. If you're talking about Connie's skill, it's 16%. The chance of getting a duplicate is 16%. If you're talking about Connie's third skill, it's 16%, yeah. So now going to Percy's third skill. The third skill, oh no, there's no chance. There's no chance. If you activate the skill, every hero dies. Every hero that dies is resurrected. It's just constant, and you can use it every round, no cooldown. You just have to pay 3 gold, and that's all. That's why I said I'm surprised that there's literally no like downsides to the skill. I'm surprised nobody uses it. There's no downsides to it. Activate the skill with 3 gold. Any hero that dies gets resurrected for free. So there's no reason not to use it. I mean, that's how I felt. I really had the plans to spam it, but maybe later. So enough about that. Moving to Percy's third skill. If your HP drops to 0, it revives you with, I believe it's 5 HP and gives you, I think it's 1 HP and 5 gold. It revives you and gives you some gold, so it gives you a chance to come back. That is a very good thing. I feel they should give you like 20 gold. They give you a lot of gold when you revive. That's what will make it usable. I think if it's just 5 gold you are given, that's too small. You can't use 5 gold to stage a comeback. But give him 5. If my HP drops to 0, give me 5 HP and give me 20 gold. No, actually the HP doesn't matter at that point. You can give me 1 HP or give me 20 gold. I'll use the 20 gold to stage a real comeback. So until they do something like that, this skill is actually bad. This skill is bad. I don't think I've ever seen anybody use it. Oh, the Commander XP coins. So yeah, I saw that new feature. Apparently, the Commander XP coins will be used to upgrade a Commander's XP. So in addition to unlocking new Commander skills by grinding, you can pay for the XP with the XP coins. So say you just bought a Commander, you need 600 XP to get the second skill, and you have 600 XP coins. You can just pay the XP coins and unlock the second skill right away. And so it's a very good addition. It's a very, very good addition because there are some of these commanders that I am never going to play. I'm just going to use my XP coins to get the other skills. Now, I think I'm about. I think we're about entering. We're about done with half of the. So far, this is the tier list. We only have one S plus skill. That's Yuki skill 3, and a well-deserved S plus really. I believe the XP coins you get them from the Magic Chest Pass, and then you can get them in the season journey as well. I believe you get some XP after playing 50 games. Some XP, either 20 or 50 games, you get some XP at that, or some XP coins at that. But I think the best place to get it is from the Magic Chest Pass. Okay, so the break over. Let's go back to ranking the commander skill. So far, this is what we have. It's where was this? Where was this? Where was this? No, I put it down here. Abichke. Hey, welcome to welcome to the stream. It's all about feast. Well, I don't know. When I get to rate feast, we'll see. I think that won't be a very long segment. So first, Brown's skills. Brown is a commander all about equipment. All his skills have something to do with equipment. His first skill is a debuffing commander skill. It's any enemy the enemy hero with the most items gets his items disabled for 15 seconds. It's a very good thing if you have equipment that have good passives. Say for example, you have a Winter Truncheon, a Rose Gold Meteor, and an Immortality. Try to imagine a hero. Try to imagine a Ling with that item build. Winter Truncheon, Immortality, and Rose Gold. The dude essentially has 5 lives with that. He essentially has 5 lives with that build. And every time he ults, he's going to take some of you as well. But with this skill, you can disarm that 5 life in build and just burst him down in 12 seconds. It's very good, but then again, equipment. I don't know. Right now, equipment are not. There's no really busted item as well. The items are kind of balanced, I would say. I would love to make an item tier list actually. Maybe I guess I still have one more stream to do. Maybe that won't be next week because I'm traveling tomorrow. So maybe next week, maybe after I've settled down. But for now, I would say this skill is as an average skill. It's not a bad one. Blazing Hammer. Blazing Hammer is it's good for disabling cores. It's a good skill. I put this one as a good skill. I will put Blazing Hammer as a good skill. While it has a lot of potential, especially when you're playing Worm Slayer or Astro Power, or you're playing a very hyper carry, a melee hyper carry, something like Aldous or Esmeralda. It's not good for ranged hyper carries because they're not going to be able to trigger the passive. You need a melee hyper carry. So that's why it's very good for assassins, for swordsmen, and then maybe for Aldous, for Freya, those kind of heroes. And then the heroes can vamp from the Blazing Hammer passive, so it's very good for Weapon Master as well. But again, it's just a mid-tier synergy. I think I ranked it as good. There's not that many in very good. Let me quickly go down and see if there's anyone that belongs in very good that I didn't put there. Nope. I don't think I would recommend any of these skills to actually rank up. Maybe Blazing Hammer, but no. Reinforce here. Okay, now here's another very good one. This one, if you have a physical item and you reinforce it, you get, I believe, 150 physical attack. You reinforce a tank item, you get more HP, 3000 HP. That's a lot of HP. And then if you have a magic hero, you get, I believe, 200 or 300 magic power. So and the cooldown is 4 rounds. I think that is a deserved cooldown. This is one of those skills that deserves to have a cooldown as long as that. Although it doesn't really matter though, because it's not like as if you get equipment every single round. You use the skill at the start of the game when you get your battle spell. You use it in the first fate box when you get your next item. You use it at the next one when at the next creep defense round. So it's not like as if it's not imbalanced. It's perfectly balanced, and it has good stats too. So yeah, very good. I would say it's strong, but I mean, if you look at the synergies on strong, I wouldn't rate this one on the same level as those ones. I wouldn't, especially again. There's something can be very very like annoying when you don't get the right items with this skill. There's still that matter of the the enemy. Not the enemy can the enemy can take an item you want. You may just not get the item you want. You may be building mage or elementalist and be getting physical attack items. It's just not. Sometimes you can actually get choked. So yeah, it's a very good skill. Let's just leave it at very good. Now we move to Saki. I don't think any I don't think any of Saki's skills will pass this C rank. Stagnation flower is okay. It's okay. Uh, retribution flower, okay. Blessing flower, okay. Yeah, I think that is a very accurate description of Saki's skills. Ah, God. If I'm being honest, I think the best of them is still. I want to be nice about this rating of Saki's skills. I want to be nice about them, but I can't see I can't see the skills belonging anywhere higher than this. No, I can't see the skills belonging higher than this. Yeah, I don't think anybody disagrees with this. So I'll just leave them here. I might change my mind later on, but for now I'll just leave all of them there. Now Kaboom, my ex main commander before I ran away with Ria and Fanny. Kaboom is he makes building synergies easier, especially if the synergy is one that has say too many 5 gold or 4 gold heroes. Remy skill 3 is learning Remy skill 3 is almost as if you're learning magic chess. That skill in itself is a course. It's one of the most complicated skills in the game. There's so many intricacies about the skill that you have to master. So many what's the word, mechanics about it that you have to master. So learning how to use Remy skill 3 while learning how to play magic chess is something that I do not recommend at all. You will get confused. Unless you play a lot and you have enough time to actually learn everything. But for now, the first thing, just enjoy simple commander skills. You have Yuki skill 3, you have Ria skill 1. In fact, Ria is coming soon. Let's go to Ria very soon. Kaboom is I want to just be very do you know where Yuki? Here's where Yuki skill 1 is. Good, good luck with Yuki skill 1. Very good luck with Yuki skill 1. I would just recommend while you are using Yuki skill 1, get a double XP card and use a very strong synergy. Use something like Archer or not Archer. What's the strongest synergy right now? Use something like Astral Power Swordsman. Just spam that for the duration of while you are using Yuki skill 1, because if you don't use a strong synergy, you're not going to I was about to say if you don't buy a skin. If you don't use a strong synergy, a synergy that can carry you, when you are using Yuki skill 1, you're basically assuming you don't have a commander skill. Because that thing is not going to one shot the enemies. You're just having it there that maybe. So just use a strong synergy. I would recommend using Astral Power Swordsman or Wormslayer Swordsman. Just use a Swordsman combo. Then, apparently, Gunner is more difficult to build now. So I can't recommend playing with Gunner. No, it's not good. But skill 3 is that was his skill 1. His skill 3 is in A+. So, where was I? Okay, we were just talking about Yuki skill 1. So now we move to, let me just put this one here. Her second skill, what it does is it stuns enemies that have crystals. But a lot of synergies in this game don't use crystals. So if you're up against Nature's Spirit Weapon Master, good luck using this skill. It's not good. If you're up against Archer, Cadia, Weapon Master, if you're up against a Crystal Heavy, synergy, you can enjoy it. But if you're playing against Nature Spirit, you're playing against Weapon Master, you're playing against Northern Veil, good luck with this. With this. Now we go to the Rhea's real skills. Let's come to where they belong. For me, I mean, her third skill, her first skill is her first skill and her third skill essentially do the same thing. They give you a crystal and a blessing, and crystals and blessings both work in the same way of that they reduce the cost, like the number of heroes required to max a synergy. A crystal gives you like an item that you can transfer to a non-member, and then a blessing doubles the synergy of, so one hero represents two. So very easily you can build heroes, you can build synergies with this commander skill, with Rhea, either a first skill. Whenever someone wants to start the game, I usually recommend they get Rhea, because Rhea will like teach you, will make building any synergy easy. Whether you want to build a crystal dependent synergy, if you want to play a crystal dependent synergy, you use her first skill. You want to play a just any synergy, you can use her third skill, because the blessing would help you anyway. The only advantage I would say her first skill has over the third one is that you can decide which crystal you want to get. You can't decide which blessing you'll get, but you can decide what crystal you get. So her first skill is better than the third skill in that regard. But then the third skill gives you like an extra boost in the blessing. Blessings give either extra attack speed, extra HP, extra defense. So it's usually very fun. It's usually very easy to use as well. I won't say they are feast level. Let's just say they are not feast level. Those skills are not feast level. If any of them is going to be feast level, it would be okay. I think I can put Rhea skill 1 as feast level. I can put that skill at feast level. Yeah, but like low feast level. Feast is still the one that dominates. Oh, we're at ours already. Ah, very good. Yeah, it can give you factions as well. So the thing is that why I don't use the third skill at all is that uh, I know what my first star core is going to be, but I don't know what my second one will be. So if at the end of the day the blessing it gives me is one for a secondary core I don't want to pick, it usually stumps the game. So I'm like forced to pick that. It's very easy to like just pick the yeah, we are on task right now. Well, let's just get right into it. I mean, Feast is in its own rank. Feast already has its own rank. Feast already has its own rank. I should rename the other rank. I mean, Taz would definitely be permaban. That one is for sure. I can see that. For me, I feel like the commander skills the commanders that will get banned is we're going to be banning commanders, not commander skills. The commanders that will get banned, Taz is going to get banned, Rhea is going to get banned. Those two, Taz will be permabanned every single time. Rhea would be banned occasionally. Yeah, Rhea will be banned occasionally. Then I feel Benny will be banned sometimes. Ostos will be Angela. Okay, yeah, Angela is the new commander will also be perma-banned. Unless maybe some big name YouTuber just like says, no, Angela is not worth perma-banning. No need to ban Angela. Just this is how to counter Angela. I think I will do that. That kind of video would be very very nice in the when Angela first comes out. First, how to counter Angela so you don't have to ban her because I need to play her. So Feast is in its own rank. Is in a rank of its own. Gluttony, that's the second skill. This one is a very strong one. It's a commander skill that is very good for building a hero to 3 stars. And the cooldown has been reduced back to 3 rounds. So comfortably you can get almost 5 copies of a hero in a game, which is a straightforward 3-star. Doesn't matter what you are doing, straightforward 3-star. So get 3-star Freya, 3-star 1-1, 3-star Karina, 3-star Lance. Any 3 gold 3-star you want. Feast skill 3 will help you. You know, that is a good strategy with Feast. You can't blame them. The science crystal helps them, so they can get that. And then if they get Ling in Fate Box, they get Bane, they get who else? Leo Mod. They get, I think Sun is kind of less significant now that he's in Summoner. Or maybe not. Me, I personally feel like Sun getting demoted from Weapon Master to Summoner was a drop down. But yeah, that's just the thing with Taz. You get to Commander, once you just get Ling, you can even sell all your heroes. Just have If by some magic you get Ling, you get Bane, oh, Natalia is in the game again. You get Ling, you get Bane, you get Leo mod. I mean, I don't think you can. You can maybe add Freya and Franco, and then you just have everything you need. 3-star Bane with 99% max HP ult. What else? What else do you want? Northernville is very going to be very busted with with Feast now. Northernville is good. Then you have Hayabusa as well, a 4 gold hero with more scaling than a 5 gold hero than Ling. So Swordsman as well is going to be another one. Get Ling, get higher, get Lance, and you are set. Feast has broken the game. It may be like more nerfed. I don't think a lot of you, I don't know how many of you were actually here when Feast was first released. That was the time when the commander ban would have been very good. I played in games in that time where all 8 of us. I mean this is literally the most straightforward way to build it. Start with Lance, get Link, get higher, and that's all. Just deploy those things. You have your 4 swordsmen. Just pick a swordsman. Pick a very good swordsman star core. If you can, then you pick Wormslayer. In fact, you pick the Wormslayer star core first. Get a Wormslayer crystal if possible, and you have that. So what was I? Where was I? Back then, where we had 8 players playing with Feast. I was also playing with Feast at that time because I mean it was broken. Your friend, I'm surprised he's still your friend. Anybody who plays that thing around, all the people who play that skill around me, I've just told them that just stay away from me, please. I don't want to stress. I mean, it sure. I've tried playing the skill. I've realized that okay, it's not as easy as people make it out to be. There's still some kind of planning that goes into it. You have to be careful about how you do it. You have to think before it. But I mean, when you see a person bring a screenshot, it has he won with 3-star Lance, 3-star Link, 3-star higher, and then you be like, you can't help but say, what skill did you use in get? You can't just help but ask that question. That is there any skill in what you just did? But I mean, that's just it. That's why Feast has its own. Feast has its own tier. S plus Feast, the Feast tier. Devil's Might is yeah, it's not a bad one. It's definitely not a bad one. It's put it as an average skill. It's an average skill. Nothing too. No, I don't think there's too much to say about it. I think the one advantage of Devil's Might. No, Devil's Might is much better than Yuki skill 1. I would pick Devil's Might. Devil's Might is okay. Let's see. Devil's Might has this thing where it's very possible that you have a 2-star hero on the board. Then in your deck you have a 2-star hero, you have a 1-star hero, you have another 1-star hero. You just need one more hero to get that hero to 3-star, but you don't get that one hero. So you're just there looking at, and no, it's weaker. It's weaker. Or okay, no, max stacks, that's 16. Yeah, no, the max stack is stronger. The 16 of it is stronger than a 3-star hero, because the 3-star hero is 9 heroes, but then the Devil's Might gets stronger at around 12 or 13. Oh. Oh, okay. I get it now. Yeah. So as I was saying, the Devil's Might, you have that thing. Instead of wasting power on the board, instead of wasting power on the deck, I mean, you can translate that to the board. So this way, your deck is always clean. You need to know the kind of satisfaction that comes when there's no hero on your deck. Everything is just on the board. It's almost like it's very satisfying, really. I would rate it much higher. It's just that the bonus is not as, like I said, a 3-star hero with Devil's Might is weaker than a like regular 3-star hero. So there is still that, but I mean it's just a way to balance it. So it's still fair. So enough about Tars. I think we've said enough about Tars to cover to cover like 3 commanders. We move to the next one, which is Ostos. Ostos. Okay, let me start with the skills that I can rate. We have his first skill. His first skill seems the buff on the first skill was very good. He gets a lot more gold now, and you can use it twice. You can get almost, I believe it's over 30 to between 30 to 40 gold that you can get per game. I'm not really sure about that. gold per game, which is crazy. It's I would say it's very good. His second skill, though, you need to upgrade 7 heroes to 2 stars to get a clone device. Um, I mean, it's it was good when the chance of getting a 1 gold hero was very high, so you could easily pack 1 gold heroes. But now that the chance of getting 1 gold heroes was reduced, and I believe it was a patch like that, the chance of getting 1 gold heroes was reduced from level commander level 4 5. So the chance of getting 1 gold heroes was, it made starting using the skill slightly. So now instead of getting about 8 or 9 clone devices a game, now you can only get about 5 or 6. I'm being greedy actually. 5 or 6 is already more than. But really, you can't get 5 safe. 5 is very very rare. Or maybe I'm just not using the skill properly anymore. I usually get 5 or 6 on average when I use the skill. But on a bad day, I only get 1 or 2, which is crazy. So I would just say the skill is average now. This one is average now. And now for his third skill, hmm. His third skill to me, I would put his third skill on as A plus. I would put his third skill as A plus, but then a part of me is telling me that his third skill can be put in S. Yes. If you can break that loss streak, which is good, really. It's not very difficult if you think about it. You just have to like bide your time. I think a very good way to do it is just to deploy 1 star heroes throughout the first. You don't need to upgrade any hero to just save up your gold. Then when you get your star core and you get to commander level 6, you now spend all that gold that you've accumulated. I think around this time, if you don't spend too much gold, you should have about 40 or 50 gold. And with that, you can easily 2 star your whole team. You can get solid synergies, and then you should be able to break out of a loss streak. And then you get a. But then there's still the thing of that you may not get the 5 gold you want, and you may have picked your star core by then, which means that you may be in problem. So it's well, I would just say it's. I want to put it somewhere between A plus and S. So, but for now, I'll put it in A. For now, I'll put it in A plus. We go to Dubi now. Now that Moskov is back in the game, this skill, Moskov and Hayabusa, now that they are back in the game, this skill is going to go to A. Now that Moskov and Hayabusa are back in the game. Okay, people really hate Hanabi, huh? Now that Moskov and Hayabusa are back in the game, Dubi skill 1 is going to kill. Again, we're going to have, although Moskov has a lot more mana than he used to in the Abyss days. So it's not going to be as brutal as before. We have Hayabusa as well, though Hayabusa is still going to keep that stun, definitely. So now Moscow and Hayabusa are back in the game. Dubi skill 1 definitely going back to A rank. And if you don't know what the skill does, essentially when your hero dashes, they leave a fluffy at the point where they were before. Then that fluffy explodes horizontally and vertically in a cross shape basically. Then any hero gets caught in that explosion gets stunned. Very very nice for like Moskov, able to when he's able to dodge assassins and just jumping around the field, he's able to stun people as well. Same thing with Hayabusa. Although because of how very specific it is, you can't use it without Moskov or Hayabusa. You can maybe use it on Yin, but Yin only dashes like once or twice, so it's not as pronounced as with Moskov or with Hayabusa. So for now, just A rank. Then her second skill, essentially the second skill just drops some fluffies. If you have played with one, Laila skill 3, or even the Laila skill 2, Laila skill 2, Laila skill 3, where you place, essentially what the skill does is at the start of the during the preparation phase of a round, place these fluffy balls on certain squares. Then these fluffy balls will explode in a cross shape as well. So any hero that gets caught in those explosions will get stunned. Now this, unlike the first skill, this one can be used for whatever synergy you want. But then again, it's very easy to manipulate your. If you see that the enemy is placing all of his fluffies on this side, just put your heroes on the other side, and fluffies waste. So it would only punish people who don't know how to scout the enemies. You're welcome. Uh, if you don't if the people you are playing against don't know how to scout the enemies, then you can punish them. But for somebody who is constantly checking what the enemies are up to, checking how to position his team, you won't really get much use out of this skill. So I don't want to say it's bad because it's actually not bad. It's theoretically good. So I'll just put it at D rank. Yeah. I just noticed the mistake I made here. Okay. And then finally, Dubi's third skill. Now, essentially, when you get to commander level 5, I believe, and commander level 7 and commander level 9, if you have 5 heroes on the board and 3 of them die, then Fluffy will activate Dubi will activate her skill and throw Fluffies to the battlefield. The Fluffies will explode in a cross shape and stun enemies. So essentially, what this one does is that once some of your heroes die, you can stun the enemies. So it's good for like, oh, I think I might lose this round. Okay, here's an Uno reverse card. Get stunned. Now, can my heroes finish your guys in the time? If they don't, well, GG. But if they do, they may be able to turn that one opening because the stun is long. It's about 5 seconds stun. For this skill 3, it's about 5 seconds stun. So it's enough time for your team to mount a comeback but then the problem is that the animation time of this like throwing of Fluffy to the battlefield is kind of long. So if you have only 5 heroes and 3 of them die, your other 2 heroes might be dead before the Fluffies explode. But in the very deep late game, where you have 9 heroes, if 5 of them die, the other 4 will definitely still be alive while the Fluffies explode. So you can very, very easily mount a comeback in the late game. In late rounds, you should be able to win late rounds if you're using a strong synergy. So I would say this one is an average skill. It's definitely better than the third skill. Yeah, it's definitely better than the third skill. But it's something that you can use, just it's a mid-tier skill. Okay, we go to the last of the little commanders. After that, we go to the Fudon. That means there's 5 more commanders left. I hope you guys have been enjoying the tier list so far. I've really been enjoying, especially talking about Feast. I didn't get to say exactly all the things that were on my mind because left to me I'd put Feast in maybe A or B because I don't like the skill. But listening to you guys' comments makes it really, really nice. So yeah, thank you guys so much for this. So we have 5 more commander skills, for 5 commanders, 15 more commander skills. So let's just get right into it. We have Astar's skill 1. If an enemy commander is knocked out, you get gold. You get gold equal to a portion of how much their lineup was worth. So you can actually get a lot of gold from this skill if you knock out somebody with a very strong team. You get the gold that you used to build up that team, and you can stack a lot of gold with it. Back then, it was a very strong. I don't know what they did to the skill. I think they nerfed the amount of gold you get from it. Is why the skill fell off. Although personally, I would still say it's a good commander skill to use. Astar's first skill. Now the second skill gives you a hero. You knock out an enemy commander, it gives you one of their heroes, star level and all. It doesn't give you the items though. It just gives you the star level. If they add a blessing, it gives you the blessing as well. So this was very good back in the day of blessings, but now that blessings have been removed from the game, it's exclusive to Real Skill 3. It's not as good as it used to be. Although getting heroes is okay. If you don't like the hero, just sell the hero. And if you like the hero, you can use it. So D rank. I won't say it's a bad skill. D rank. Then the third skill. The third skill gives you one of the equipments. Is this the second best of them? The gold is the best, obviously. The gold is definitely the best thing to get. But if you get some good items, there's only one equipment you'll get. But if you get maybe a staff or blade, you get a demon hunter sword, a golden staff, you get an enchanted talisman, right? That could turn your game around. So this one just average. It's not bad. Just an average skill. All right. Now we move to the Dawn commanders: Ling, Fanny, Cho, and Laila. Starting with Ling. I'll start with his second skill. The second skill, A plus. While it is, or skill, this one is going to be that A plus or S. Personally, this skill is going to be that A plus or S. I don't want to rate it above Ostos skill 3. In fact, no. This one is definitely S. I mean, it brought about the Titan, the so-called Titan mode heroes that we see in every YouTube video. So-called Titan mode of heroes. Link skill 2 has you have this dueling ring where you put a hero there, they pick off an enemy hero, they fight, they get bonus, they increase in size, and then you have the so-called titans in the game. Very very good for Worm Slayer, very very good for Astro Power, very very good for Archer, very very good for hyper carry heroes. Just place your hyper carry in the domain, feed off the enemy heroes, because nobody's going to put their own hyper carry to face your own hyper carry. They're always just going to put something to, something you can feed off. So your hero is just going to keep getting stronger. You're going to keep getting stacks, and then at the end of the day, and then at the end of the day, you have that. It's a really good. I love using this skill, especially when I'm playing with Wormslayer Swordsman or just Swordsman in general, because Swordsman with Demon Hunter Sword, Blade Armor in the domain, it's a very easy win. Back when Assassin was in the game, Assassin kinda did it very well. Wrestler is very irritating to face. Link skill 2 has its own matchups. You have, okay, Assassin is strong against Wrestler, Wrestler is strong against Weapon Master, this is strong against this. These are the kind of commander skills you should not start the game with. Because while they may be simple for the veterans who like play it as easily as breathing, for new players you have to, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this, I have to do that. These are the commander skills that you have to get used to the game first. But once you do, the bonuses you get they are insane. Very very good commander skills. His first skill is a very good one. Oh, very good. No, very good. It's not. I think from what I've seen, from what I'm looking at in this list, all the commander skills from S plus to A, all of them to A plus, and even like looking at a bit, all of them are actually like, I can recommend these commander skills to, if they are like struggling to rank up. I can recommend any of these from S plus to A plus. I can recommend any of them to anybody who is struggling to rank up. Looking at it now, I can recommend any of them. I was going to show that the commander skills actually have a big impact on your game. I'll still go to like recommended commanders, like commanders where all their skills are okay. And the first one that comes to my mind, of course, is Ling, because all of Ling's skills, skill 1, skill 2, skill 3, all of them, they don't fall off. For me, this one is okay because you get mana. The heroes that you put inside the Phoenix, they get mana when the Phoenix is killed. But then, unless you are playing Weapon Master or Mage, the Phoenix is going to either die before it gets to ult, or the ult is not going to do much damage. Personally, I love using the Phoenix with Weapon Master. Any combo that has Weapon Master Mage. Could be Nature Spirit Weapon Master Mage. Could be Forsaken Light Weapon Master Mage. Anything that has Weapon Master and Mage. You have that. Mage has that vamp thing now. Okay, no, it won't really work now that the Mage synergy gives only Mage heroes the buff. So I was thinking I could manipulate it there, but no, it's not going to work. But as long as you have the Weapon Master, the Phoenix is definitely going to ult because it's going to be vamping from its basic attacks. And as you know, the basic attacks do a lot of damage, especially if you have heavy heroes inside your Phoenix. And if you have a strong front line too, actually it's a good skill. It's a very strong skill, but at S rank, I think it should be okay. Maybe high A plus is okay for it. Yeah, in the first 3 rounds, yeah, when you can't really do anything, when your own heroes are not really that strong, yeah, it can be very annoying at that time. Unless you are playing assassins, that can easily just jump to the backline and kill the Phoenix, or you have enough power to destroy whatever front line he has. So yeah, that's just. And then if he has a very like, it's very good for Freya because you put Freya inside and Freya comes out of it with her ult active. So it's very good. But yeah, I think A plus. A plus is okay for it. Now we go to Laila. Laila is probably the weakest of all the dunk. I believe they are called dunk commanders now. Laila is probably the weakest of all of them. It's not like as if her skills are very bad. Her third skill is A plus. Her third skill is A plus. This is a commander skill that it's you place two heroes. You place one in front and one at the back, and then on the front row, a cannon. And at the start of the round, the cannon fires forward, and any hero caught in that cannon fire cannot regenerate mana for 7 seconds. Their mana bar is locked. And in the late game, where you have 9 heroes, you can have 4 cannons, which means that the enemy only has 3 spots to stay. But then if you get a science crystal, so that you have 10 heroes, you can have 5 cannons, which means that the enemy only has 2 safe spots. It's always a mental battle trying to keep your actual hyper carries away from those cannons, because in the late game 7 seconds of not being able to use mana is a lot. It doesn't matter if you have enchanted talisman. Your mana bar is going to be locked for 7 seconds. If you don't have enchanted talisman, once the 7 seconds are up, you have to start regaining mana from beginning. So it's like 10 seconds of just being food. If you are playing against somebody who has incredible attack speed or incredible burst, imagine leaving Freya 10 seconds to attack you for free in the late game where she's potentially 3 stars. It's a losing battle. I won't say it's S, because of course you can still walk around it if you are fast enough, and if you are like able to play mind games with the enemy, you can probably walk your way around it. But if you are not, even if you are not, I mean, 6 of the enemy heroes are disabled. It's a very good synergy, a very strong synergy. I mean, then the second skill is very good. Use it for saber because you can use that to protect the saber. The HP of the dummies. Essentially, what the skill does is that if you have only one hero on a line, for the third skill is if you have rows are the vertical ones, the up to down ones. They are rows. For the third skill, you need to have only 2 heroes there, and that is on the second and third one. You leave the first side exposed. But for the second skill, you can only put 1 hero. That's on the very bottom or on the second one. Only 1 hero up to down. I believe they are called columns. I don't know the difference between rows and columns. The vertical ones, the ones that go from up to down, that only has 3. You can only put 1 hero in each of them for the second skill. And when you do that, a dummy will be spawned on the first one. And the dummy is essentially a tank. It has a good amount of HP. In the late game, it has a lot of HP. So that if you are playing this with archers, your archers are just going to be shooting fire from the back while the enemies try to destroy your dummies. And if you are playing with saber, you have the dummies there to protect the unitrons. Although I mean the unitrons are not worth protecting anymore. But let's not talk about saber every chance we get. Let me not jab saber every chance I get. So potentially it's a good skill. I would say it's A rank. Then her first skill is the one. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I even need to say too much about this. Just D rank. It summons a hologram at the area with the most enemies, and then the hologram does damage, a lot of damage, like in a straight line. But its attack speed is very slow. It's only in the early game that you can really see that this skill might help you dominate. But then from mid game and even in the early game, it's not that much. Yes, exactly. Even in the early game, it's not that much of like the dominance you get from Lila 1 in the early game is not that much. So it's not something that is worth it. It's not worth it. So for Lila skill 1, it's Where did I put that? I think I removed. Yeah, I removed it. So for Laila skill 1, it's definitely D rank. I think I placed it in D rank. Now, I placed Fanny's skill. I don't think we need to say anything about Fanny's skill 3. It's feast level. This is another commander skill that can be used, that is going to be contested for competitive. It might have been nerfed like that now. We only gain 2 gold. But like I said, in the early days we did not gain any gold. So 2 gold that we gained gold, we should be happy. In fact, in the early days we didn't even get the price of the hero back. So we had to pick 3 gold from our pockets to, and in the early game it was even 4 gold. Now no matter how I think about it, the skill is much better right now. Back then, before the last nerf, this skill would have had a tier of its own as well. But right now I'll just manage to put it in feast tier. That is a super launcher. Once you build up the platform, it gives you a spot where you can just put another hero, and then at the start of the round, the extra hero will be sent to the battlefield with the synergies and everything. So you basically get a crystal for free, and you can complete the launcher as quickly as the planning stage, or let's just on average on the placement stage. If you are unlucky, it's until maybe the start of showdown, but by then you are commander level 7, so you can easily get your 3 gold heroes. So it doesn't matter how the game is going, you're always going to be able to enjoy this skill. So definitely very good. It's S plus. The second skill is kind of, I would say it's just very good. Once you unlock the third skill, you actually have no reason to play the second skill or the first skill. I don't know why Fanny was built that way, such that all the skills are mutually exclusive. The third skill is completely broken. The second skill is just an essential. It's just essentially just a minor thing. You still get the synergy added to your lineup, but the hero is not added to the board. So you only get an extra space in synergy. It's like as if you get a crystal. Okay, but you don't get the extra space. So that's why it's just very good. Once you unlock the third skill, just use the third skill. You have no reason to use the second skill. And then the first skill is bad. I'm just putting this one on bad. There's no reason to. I'm just putting the first skill on bad. Of course, when you have the first skill, you have no choice but to use it. But once you unlock the other ones, you just use them and just have fun. Okay, we've come to the last commander, Cho. I have never used Cho, ever. I don't like him. I just don't like him. I just. This one is mostly just going to be you guys. You guys. This one is definitely going to be S rank. It's not feast level. This skill is not feast level. Then the equipment one, let's just say to be good. The equipment one will be good, and then the H one is going to be very good. For me, the HP is better than the equipment because the number of belts is less, and 13 HP is a lot. But without a doubt, the best one is the gold one. So, there's not too much to say about Cho. Essentially, you pick a hero. If that hero gets a kill, you get a belt. You collect a certain number of belts and you get the rewards. For gold, for the first skill, you get some gold. For the second skill, you get some HP. And then for the third skill, you get 1 equipment. But the problem with the third skill is that the number of belts you need to collect is not worth it. It's way too many. Yeah, it has to be nerfed. Cho is one of those commanders that would have gotten banned if they didn't nerf him. Every game was Cho. It was Cho Legends. Right? Magic Cho. That was what the game was. Magic Cho. So the nerf was necessary. Now there's not that many people playing Cho, even though he's still decent, but there's not that many people playing him. Everybody wants to play broken stuff. Everybody's going to feast now. If we have a tournament now, I'll see like 5 people carry feast. I'll be the only one playing with, although I'm not going to play. But if I'm going to play, I'll just carry my either Fanny or Rhea. Just enjoy that. So that is the commander skills tier list. That was a hell of a lot of fun. We have our S plus, which is the feast level synergies. We have Yuki skill 3, charming, which essentially you pick a hero and the hero is able to devour the heroes to the left and the right, which makes the hero you've selected much stronger, able to the real meaning of a hyper carry hero, which can buff your hyper carries, make them even stronger. You have this on 1-1, you have this on Lance, on Karina, even on the 5 gold heroes like Ling or the other strong 5 gold heroes. Very good commander skill. Then Rhea skill 1 helps you build any crystal synergy very easily. I would put Rhea skill 1 and Rhea skill 3 on the same level actually, but personal bias. I'm just using that personal bias to put Rhea skill 1 at S plus. Mostly because I would recommend this skill to anybody who is just starting Magic Chess. You can definitely use this skill to rank up and learn how to building synergies works. Feast is, well, I'm not talking about Feast. You guys know what Feast. You guys know how Feast works. I hate that skill, but it's there in S plus. And then we have Fanny skill 3. Another very simple synergy. Build a platform, get an extra hero with 25% extra max HP. Very fun, very easy, very efficient. And then you get some gold in the process as well. Again, you can't go wrong with this commander skill. Then the S rank synergies, like I said, the S plus and the S rank synergies, there's almost no difference between the two of them. They are basically the same thing. We just needed to give Feast a tier of its own. That's why we have S plus. We need to give Feast a tier of its own. But the the S rank synergies are also very strong in their own right. We have Remy skill 3, we have Benny skill 3, Rhea skill 3, Link skill 2, and Cho skill 1. Any of these 9 commander skills you can use and you will rank up comfortably. The A plus synergies as well are very very good, but they have one or two things that make them that are like lacking from the S and the S plus. We have Eggy skill 3, Boss skill 3, Percy skill 2. Taz actually fell out of the meta at some point. When he was first released, and in the next patch after he was first released, all 3 skills got nerfed. Not just one, all of the 3 skills got nerfed. Of course, Feast was still the most broken of them, because that was Feast. When Feast first came was when we actually now saw people playing with 3-star 5 gold heroes. Before then, getting a 3-star 5 gold hero was a big thing. Like you would see screenshots everywhere whenever anybody gets a 3-star 5 gold hero, or even a 3-star 4 gold hero. I remember my first 3-star 4 gold. When I first got my first 3-star 4 gold hero, I was so happy. And even the 3-star 5 gold, my first 3-star 5 gold hero was probably with Task skill 2. At that time, I didn't like Feast because the strategy for using Feast did not allow you to build synergies. But me, I've always been a fan of synergies. I love it when I can build a good synergy. It's like with 6-6. Back then, 6-6-6 was the meta. But now 6-6-6 is not that easy. I've even lost interest in building like 6-6 synergies. Just enjoy my 6-4 or 6-6 synergies. But back then when Thanos was in the game, when Ling was there as well, I can't remember the other 5 gold hero that really made Feast broken. But those ones really broke, and Odette, those ones really broke the game. Then after that, after his second skill got nerfed, the cooldown got increased. That skill fell out of the meta completely. Nobody used it anymore. The first skill got the stats got reduced a bit. That one wasn't really that popular, but it still fell out of the meta as well. Then the third skill now, before it was commander level 7 you needed to get to activate the skill. Then it was increased to 8. That was now where it started falling out. Now everybody's used to playing that commander level 8. But as at then, it fell out of I can't remember what they did to it. Actually brought it back. But even then, even when it was nerfed, some people were still using it comfortably. So I would say, yeah, it never really fell out of the meta. It just sometimes it became less popular. But every time you always have that task skill 3. Every now one game, there's always that one person. If there's a skill that has never fallen out of the meta, it's Benny skill 3. I have almost never seen a game that doesn't have somebody using Benny skill 3. Ever since season 7. We're in season 14 now. Ever since season 7, like 2 years ago, Benny would be consistently in every game. I don't know why. Maybe I just have bad taste in commander skills. Maybe I just don't like good things. But those are the skills that just have never been out of the meta, and it just is what it is. So yeah, that is all about the commander skill tier list. I would send, as usual, I will send it to. I don't think I think I forgot to send it to the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, you can join. The link is in the video description. Then the in-game group as well. You can join there because when we're going to have we already have a good enough number on the Discord to actually host events. I've just not been able to get around to. I think this season, though, I have a lot of time this season, so I think we should be able to have one or two. And for that to work, I would need as many of us on the in-game group as possible. You can also meet from there too as well, so that we can play if I'm available. So I will send the tier list as usual to the community tab, to the Discord as well. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. I mean, that's the end of the stream as well. Let me know what you guys think about the tier list. As usual, just let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for joining. It was really fun. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.